Oh, I like having the trophy profile behind you.
Well, unfortunately, it's just to hide my kitchen. So,
Yeah, but
um,
what a way to hide the kit. Oh, actually, Jedi Survivor. Let's see. 14 out of
just started it kind of.
yeah. How
I
you find it?
I have to force myself through the game at the minute.
Oh God.
Um, it's it's exactly like I thought it would be,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm not disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Um,
Well, that
it's
that's great.
like my issue with Jedi Survivor is that you always like it's my biggest complaint with Star Wars games when the lightsaber doesn't feel like a lightsaber. It doesn't feel like what I imagine a lightsaber feel
Yeah,
like.
yeah. There's no
It no
oomph.
weight to it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you do an aerial assassination kill, and he just kind of like falls on them, like fumbles over them, and they're dead.
Yeah.
And like I'm enjoying it so far, but I'm finding it like a little bit samey, like, and there's all these
99 cents though.
99 cents, and I have to, give a big thanks, a big shout out to, it was like the game. I'll just pull up the name so I don't get
We'll
it
get the
wrong.
name and we'll
We'll get we'll get the name so that we're definitely
is
on
this
to.
our weakest
Um,
intro ever? We just started talking.
we just started.
Platchums!
The person, so it was Game Collections Mania says advised that I could get Jedi Survivor on EA Play for €1, which was great. And I'm also
Thanks
going to
for that.
do.
Thanks for that games menu because believe it or not, I like for me anyway, that helps a lot. This was half my savings right here was this.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate the economic advice because believe it or not the 720p camera that I'm using from 1978 might give it away, but I don't have that much disposable income.
Yeah.
So thank you games menu.
As I record from my kitchen. Um, I'm on my kitchen chair, with a nice
It's
cushion.
also your
Um,
bedroom. Can
it's
you imagine?
also it's also my bedroom slash attic slash
Slash friend shed.
bathroom.
Uh,
Um,
but
yeah.
we are not here to discuss Jedi Survivor.
No.
But Games Guru or Platinum Guru, should I say? Because I think Games Guru might actually be copyrighted. So hopefully these questions weren't time dependent because it took us about 5 months to get to the second one. So we have a few questions, right? So we'll just get right into this, all right? So we need to get our guru kind of the swinging chair really adds to this, doesn't it? Like the guru just turning around, you know.
Yeah.
So comment in today's episode from Platinum Vault, a long time viewer. So always appreciate seeing Platinum Vault in the comments. He said, I'm still not over the fact that Dan said he cares more about the trophies than the experience. That hurt me for some
Ouch.
reason. So, first of all, before I actually ask the question, how do you feel about hurting one of our viewers?
I think that was I think it was a bit I phrased whatever I said. Obviously, we're talking about 5 months ago, so I can't remember exactly. But I think I phrased it. I think we were kind of talking about like, sometimes the getting the platinum becomes the game itself.
Hmm.
It's like the meta game of trophy hunting, which, certainly is a risk. We're certainly susceptible to falling that plant sometimes. Um,
Hmm.
but I would hope like a look through my trophy list, and the games I've played
Is that why you put the list
illustrates that.
behind you as evidence?
Maybe. I hope that illustrates that I'm not all about the trophies. I do only play good games, and I don't play easy games for the sake of it. But certainly, like, look, I am guilty sometimes of like, we talked about that last time. Like maybe sometimes avoiding certain games because I'm like a little bit intimidated by the trophy
Hmm.
list.
But
Um,
I feel like you're similar to me where, I've only avoided like like a minuscule amount of games because of their
Yeah.
trophy list, but I'd normally play them on like an alt, kind of like Mankind Divided.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, it's just
Like I
if it's like an egregious trophy list, like particularly
yeah.
bad, I would maybe go. And if it's combined with a game that isn't like an absolute must play for me, then that will affect it. But I'll play it at some point on an alt. But that's literally like Mankind Divided's the only example I can really think of, and that was because, like they said, the breach mode trophies are really glitchy and online based, and I just don't want that stress with it and multiple playthroughs. It was a game that I enjoy one playthrough, enjoy the experience, and move on. You know.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, like this year I think is a good example that, I haven't really been playing much PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 because I've actually been playing like a lot of PC games and a lot of I'm playing a lot of chess. I'm trying to get good at chess.
You kick my ass
I'm
at chess.
I'm trying to get better. Anyway, it's a long road ahead of me. But I played like a lot of games without trophies this year. So I certainly amn't completely tied to the trophies. I play a lot of retro games, a lot of PC
Yeah,
games.
I was playing a
But
lot of retro stuff on the Vita
a
myself.
great a great a
Mm.
great emulation station, definitely.
Yeah, oh man, it's so
It's
good.
a great machine.
So are you happy enough with that defense? Will we
So,
actually
yeah,
get to the
sorry, my
question?
defense. Let's go to the question.
I
Apologies. Yeah.
rest my case. So my question is, what are some games you want in your collection, but the platinum is a challenge in brackets for your level of skill? So it bleeds into what we were actually saying before
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
question about that it hurt him. that
Yeah.
are there any games in your collection currently that you feel like you might not be able to platinum?
Yeah, I think there's like two questions there. One of them is the games that like I already have on my profile but haven't platinumed. Um, and then games that, I have avoided or not yet
Mhm.
added to my account. I certainly think like a lot of like say a lot of the Street Fighter games. I've always enjoyed playing Street Fighter casually. I'm
Mhm.
not good at Street Fighter. Um,
Mhm.
hence why I only have Tekken plats on my account
Taka.
because Tekken's like easy Street Fighter,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
at least from the trophy list perspective.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
some of those games and the Mortal Kombat games, any of the fighters often have trophy lists I feel like I'm not going to be cut out for, especially when there's online play.
Mhm.
Because I'm not a great, fighting game guy.
I'm terrible at them.
Yeah,
Like, what was the name of the little dinosaur in Tekken 2?
gone.
Gone.
Yeah,
My whole
yeah.
thing was just a fart. That was all the move I had, and it was such a troll
Yeah.
move. And like, I respect and appreciate them from afar as opposed to actually enjoy playing them, because it's just when you get into kind of the invincibility frames or like the timing and stuff. But like, I
Yeah.
love fighting games like Fight Night Round 4, like UFC, like more simulation games or like the WWE games. But for some reason, just the quintessential 2D style arcade fighting, I just sucked ass at. Um, and it's that is a big gap in my collection. I like to think the Fight Night Round 4 Platinum makes up for that. um, but yeah, like I think the only one really in my account, if I'm actually being asked the question, Platinum Ball, I always feel like it's no one wants to hear from me. It's always Dad. But I'm gonna act like you did ask me this question as well. And pretty much the only game based on skill would be the Evil Within. Like I think that's one that I feel like I'm not really able to do. I know you sent me a text going there's like a guide up from Optinoob.
Yeah. Yeah, new one.
Um but I feel like I've just kind of put that to bed. I don't really feel any motivation, and it's really weird because there's like one DLC trophy as well that I haven't gotten. I think
Sure.
Kurarami mode in the Consequence DLC pack. I'm just not even
Yeah.
arse going for that, like at all. Which yeah,
Yeah.
like
You
because I
should
was
get that
toying
in
with.
like an hour or so. It really doesn't take too long,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you
I
do
think
have to
that
be
I
motivated.
yeah, I think that one isn't skill dependent. That's pure motivation. Like
Yeah,
I just don't care enough to go for it, and I think the Akumu mode is just skill.
sure.
I think but apart from that, I think I've pretty much, yeah, gotten like everything. That makes it sound really like, oh, go me, but like like for the most part, a lot of my plats are easy, and then there's some kind of difficult ones thrown in there.
Yeah.
And then maybe like games that I wish um I had platinumed. I think like some fighting games would be cool, or like a platinum like Gran Turismo 5, something really like just kind of bold and different, like racing and fighting. Because I think my list is quite well balanced with different genres. But I guess, I wouldn't care enough to try to mix it up just for the sake of like the aesthetic of the list, because it's
Yeah.
not really why I trophy hunt. But it's like when you kind of go back, like it's clear I don't really like racing games. I love the old Burnout games, Midnight Club 3, but and Need for Speed Underground and Most Wanted. Like I did play a lot of them growing up. I think I just kind of not aged out of them, but that kind of genre of racing game just died. Do you remember there was like Juiced and
Yeah.
everything, and like Pimp My Ride, and it was a huge thing in the mid 2000s. So I
Yeah.
kind of prefer that more kind of tacky arcade racer as opposed to like simulation. So it's the opposite of me with fighting games. I like the simulated fighting games more so than like the arcadey ones. And
Mm.
then for racing, give me the arcade and not the simulation. So I don't know. Um, but uh, and I think one plat. I think it'd be cool to have like another Final Fantasy Platinum, I think, or maybe like all the Yakuza. I think that would be a cool one to have. I like I'll never get them, but that's like a series that you're like, God damn, like that's impressive. When you see someone that has all like the Yakuza Platinums, it's like, okay, like that's pretty cool. But what about yourself? As I sip a tea.
Yeah, I think um other games that sometimes put me off trying them because I feel like I'm going to struggle with them or get a little bit more stressed. Like say a Crash 4 would be one. I feel like anytime I look at Crash 4, I'm like, oh, all those time trials because I really was banging my head against the wall for the
Mm-hmm.
for Crash 1 and 2 particularly. Games with like no hit modes
Mm-hmm.
or like boss rush S ranks, things like, like Fury
Mm-hmm.
or Titan Souls, um, those kind of games. Sometimes, I rather just, try them out elsewhere or, not on my main account because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like, the investment is tough and I always feel really bad when I like go into say a no hit run and I get so far and then it all
Mm-hmm.
crumbles.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, so and sometimes I'm willing to do it, like Outlast or something like that. I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed working towards those ones, but yeah, those kind of games sometimes definitely kind of put me off even trying them for the plat because I fear the skill ceiling is too high.
Is there a platinum that you haven't gotten on your account, like one that jumps out that you think you might never be able to get? Because I'm looking here, and there's actually like very few games in your list now. Like I'm actually kind of shocked because like the cleanup that you've got on is insane. But
Yeah.
like it's only kind of like maybe 20 games that you could platinum that you haven't, because you're not like, I think you're pretty big on DLC, but you're not like as mad into it as me. Like I love the 100%. Um because like I'm looking here, and some of these you can't plat because of closed servers like Homefront. But like what about something like Dark Cloud 2, uh Red
Dark
Faction, or Tony
Dark
Hawk?
Cloud 2 is a sad one. Dark Cloud 2 is a sad one because I think I missed one photograph and
Oh.
yeah, and I'm like 70 hours into it or 80 hours into it.
Mm.
So because you missed the photograph in like a missable way, there's no way to go back.
Oh,
Um,
terrible design.
like I might be wrong, I might have it, so maybe I'll go back and I'll check. But I remember quitting that game thinking, oh, I don't feel like restarting this. Tony Hawk 2 or 1 and 2 was just that I think the
Grind.
game. Yeah, I looked at the grind and I was like, oh, I don't really feel like doing this at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the trophies glitched on me in Tony Hawk's 1 and 2. It's the bull one,
Oh
and
yes, yes,
for
yes.
some reason, whatever way, the game is bugged for me. I just cannot unlock that trophy, even though it's one that you should be able to just literally load up and get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So maybe if I uninstall it and reinstall it,
Or
maybe.
maybe try it on my PlayStation, sign into your account and see.
Yeah.
It could be something stupid like that.
Yeah. I'm close to Turismo 7, but again, there was like this huge grind, and people were using scripts to grind money, and I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like doing that at the time. And now I feel like I'm so out of practice at it that I only have
Mm-hmm.
like the S ranks in the licenses and stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of gave up at a bad time
It's
for that
mad that
one.
that rarity is at like 9.28. That's actually very high for
Yeah, it's not like a super crazy
mm-hmm.
one. It's nothing like the demand for
5.
for 5, yeah, but I don't have a wheel that works for the PlayStation 5, which is unfortunate.
Ah, well, so there's not too many games, but yeah, for me, it's clear Evil Within. And
Evil Within is a good, yeah, answer.
yeah.
But check out those. At least just do me a favor and check out his walkthrough and just watch it
Oh,
for like 10 minutes, and you'll see he literally says, go here, stand here, do this. It's really like his guides are just next level. If I see that OptiNoob has a guide for a game, I'm like, oh, it looks like I'm getting the plat for this,
yeah,
because his
yeah.
guides are just that good. Um,
Okay, no, I'll bear
yeah,
that in mind. But thanks for the question, Platinum Vault. I
it's
hope
a
that
good question. Yeah.
that addresses it. And yeah, so Guru, thank you for bestowing. Namaste.
Platchums